In a typical factory track implementation, there will be multiple consoles scattered around the shop floor, waiting for the operator to log in and tell the system what they're working on. The operator will scan or enter their employee or badge number into the form to access the shop floor system. If necessary, additional security can be added to specify a PIN to be used or to use biometrics to log in. Once they've logged in, they'll then be presented with a form showing the jobs which are due to be started in their default work center. If necessary, they can select a different work center, go back to their original work center. They can also change the sort or filter, so it reduces the number of jobs to be shown. So in this case, I'm eliminating anything where all the materials haven't yet been issued, but I'll turn that filter back off. Each line shows the item, the description, the order number and operation, the task description, how long it should take to complete the task, when it was due to be started, the outstanding quantity, and the unit of measure. If I click on the job itself, it opens up another form. This shows more details of the job. Each tab displays different information: the operation details, the entire routing, if anybody is currently working on it or anybody has been assigned by the supervisor to work on it, the materials that need to be issued for it. In this case, we've only got a single item and we've already fully issued it, so there's nothing to issue. But if we needed to, we could hit the issue button, or if we needed to return it, we can return it. Documents will interface with IDM and show any documents or pictures that are attached to this order or this job in any way. These particular ones are at the order level. They could be the operation level, the item level, the routing level, the site level, and so on. Report quantity allows us to report quantity against this job. If it was serial controlled, we could do our serial as built information. We can also specify any byproducts that we're reporting if necessary. And we can also see what skills, if any, are required for this job. It's important to know that on the dispatch list, if I don't have the necessary skills or the mandatory skills to do a job, then I don't even see that job. And again, if I go back to the overview tab, we also have here on the left, on the right hand side, is the micro routings, if there were any. So if I go back here and if I start this job, so the first thing it says is, are you using a machine? At this point, I'm not. And it also says, is this a runtime or setup activity? So I'll just say it's a runtime activity. So I click on the start button. So that will start the job at 2:55. Again, if I click on the white space here, then I get exactly the same screen as I had before. If I click on the report button, then this allows me to report quantities against this particular job. So this is LP6, so I can report 5 good ones. And because this is the final operation, it is also expecting me to put these into inventory. And it will print me a label and so on and so forth. So in this case, I'm just going to say I want all 5 of those to go into location A000. And if I go and have a look at that order in LN, then I should see, so LN6. So let me just go back to LN to LN6. And have a look at it. And if I go to the actions, then I should see here that I've delivered 5 of these into stock. So I had ordered 20, and because I've just accepted 5 in the shop floor, it is automatically updated LN immediately with that information and put those items into the location A000. So let's say it's, I'm just going to adjust the time just so we can actually see what's happening. So if I go here and stop this job, so this is LMP6, so I'm stopping it at 3:55, so it's had an hour. And again, if I go back into LN and have a look at this, if I go back to the production order and just have a look at the hours accounting, then I should see here, here's this booking that was just from it started at 1:55, finished at 2:55. There's an hour difference in the clock, so it's represented as differently. But there's the hour that has been posted to that job. I can also here, if I go back to, I'll go to this job here, and if I wanted to, I could actually report some rejects. If I report rejects, then it says, okay, what's the reject code associated with it? So I can specify those. And then if necessary, I can dispose of them immediately. So I can either scrap them or I can scrap one of them and maybe quarantine one of them. So I can do all of this. So if I now look at LMP4 in LN, then I should see that we should see that the quantities scrapped and disposed of and so on and so forth. If I go here, so I can see now there's one quarantined and there's two scrapped. So I must have already previously scrapped one. So in this case, it's updating LN immediately with the results. At any time, I can click on the log out button and let somebody else clock in. So now somebody else is clocking in, 300,119. And what we find here, very often we have a situation whereby a customer does have the barcoded traveling documents that are lying around. So if that is the case, then we would allow him to scan in that in the dispatch list. So if I scan in the first of the barcodes, so it scans it in, automatically selects it to start, and then I can select the second one. So I'm starting LMP6 and LMP7, and I'm just going to say, okay, start those two jobs. Again, I'm not starting them on a machine, and they're not setup tasks, they're runtime tasks. So I'll just hit start, and that now shows me that this person, so Alan Bridge, started at 2:59 those two jobs, and then at 1600 he might stop one of them. So that's LMP6, and then LMP7 he might stop at 1700. So this is what this allows him to do all of these things. So if I went and had a look at Alan Bridge's data, I should see that it's posted sometime to job 1 and sometime to job 2. I can also click on the menu bar here and see what other options I have. So active tasks is empty now because Alan Bridge is not working on anything. Dispatch list is the driver that we've been using. We also have an alternative method, which is to use the direct entry form to start a job. So again, if I have the traveler, then I can just scan in the order and operation there, and it will start that job. I can also start an indirect task. So I'm going to start an indirect task at 5 o'clock. And at 15:30, I'm going to stop it. So that will capture that time and post it into LN for Alan Bridge. So if I go to the LN people module and have a look at hours and expenses for that particular employee, then I should see here is some 50 minutes or whatever it was. Half an hour, 0.5 of an hour that has been posted to that particular task for that particular employee. So one of the other options we have is machine mode. This allows the operator to select a machine and go into the system as if they were that machine. So the system will show all the jobs that machine can run on, and I'll select LMP5 and say I want to start collecting time against it. So this is just the machine, and I'm not going to capture labor. This is a standalone machine that is going to run against that job for 1800 for half an hour. So if I look at LMP5, if I go back into LN and have a look at order LMP5, then I should see that I will have associated with it, if I go to the hours accounting, I should see I've got half an hour's worth of machine time that's been collected against machine MC1 on Saturday for half an hour. So this is allowing me to collect time at a machine level. So in the same way that we can collect time against an operator, so we can collect it against a machine. If I go back in here as well, one of the other options I can do is I can create an NCR, a non-conformance report. So I can specify, there's no non-conformance report there currently. So I can create it, I can give it a description, so say what the problem is, what the description is, what the type of it was, what the reject reason code is, what its severity is, and then more detail here. And if necessary, I can block the operation so no further activity can be performed against it. And now that NCR has been created. So when I see this job now, I'll be aware that it has got an NCR against it so that it's immediately visible. Those are some of the capabilities the operator has in the shop floor. FactoryTrack also has a module called TimeTrack, which covers the collecting of attendance information. If attendance is turned on, then the shop floor module works slightly differently. So now if I log into it with attendance turned on, then it detects whether I'm actually clocked in. At the moment, I'm not clocked in, so I'm going to clock in now. Normally, I would have expected to have clocked in at the door, but this captures the situation where I'm not. So now I'll just start a couple of jobs at 8:06. I'm not going to collect a machine. And now let's say it's 15:10. I'll stop one job. And it's 16:15, and I'll stop another job. Okay, so now I've got no active tasks running, but because we are running the attendance, we have a new series of options where we can look at our timesheet. So this shows what I've done today. So I clocked in at 8:06. I then ran a job from 8:06 until 3:15 and another job from 8:06 till 4:15. And the logic determines that in that time interval, we want to allocate 2 hours 42 minutes to job 1 and 3 hours 42 against job 2. So again, that will be posted directly into LN and collected. So this is if the attendance is in, and I can also clock out from here if necessary. So that just brings up this, so that's clocked me out and brought it up for the next person to log in. That concludes the activities and the opportunities for operators in the shop floor, FactoryTrack shop floor module. Thank you.